Tony came to set up a barbecue, but unexpectedly saw human traffickers chasing a child. Without hesitation, he threw 2 bottles at them. The leader behind the operation ordered his men to kill Tony for meddling, but Tony quickly knocked them all to the ground with just a few moves. Little did he know, his impressive actions caught the attention of 2 kids, who wanted him to be their father. At that moment, Tony looked at the woman, and was shocked to realize she was the woman he had crossed paths with 5 years ago. 5 years ago, while on a mission, Tony ran into a beautiful CEO at a hotel, but focused on completing his task. He wiped out the remaining criminal forces, single-handedly fighting his way from Washington to Southeast Asia, killing for 7 days and nights, and eventually unified the underworld. 5 years later, the woman had 2 children, but Tony had no idea. These were his biological kids. The woman, grateful for his life-saving actions, immediately offered him a $1 million bank card. Tony intended to refuse, but the 2 kids insisted he be their dad. However, the persistent leader contacted the world's #1 assassin, planning to teach Tony a lesson. The woman panicked, and urgently told him to take the children and leave, hoping her family background would pressure the leader. But the leader didn't care, because they had connections with the head of the Dragon Gate, one of the world's top figures. What they didn't know was that the man was the head of Dragon Gate himself, but they didn't believe him, thinking he was just a barbecue vendor pretending to be someone important, and immediately sent the assassin to take care of him. But with just one move, Tony subdued the assassin. The woman, fearing things would escalate, organized a plan for Tony, and the assassin narrowly escaped. The next day, Tony brought some hair, and ordered his men to run a DNA test. As expected, the kids were indeed his. So, he took out the long-lost Dragon Gate leader's token, declaring his return. At the same time, all the forces under Dragon Gate sensed the news. To support his wife, he had his men notify the master of the Cloud City branch that he would attend the evening's banquet with the leader. Hearing the news, the leader grew more arrogant, immediately sending the woman's father to Tony's house to capture him. Little did they know, the barbecue son-in-law they had been looking down on was actually the Dragon Gate leader they dreamed of meeting. As the banquet approached, Tony attended with the woman and children. Unexpectedly, the leader immediately recognized Tony as the man of the evening. He quickly demanded they kneel and beg for mercy, or else he would obliterate them. But no matter what techniques he used, he couldn't even harm Tony. Helpless, the leader had to call his top disciple to deal with the arrogant Tony. Tony realized this person was abusing his gang to do evil, and promptly sent him straight to hell.